Hey, good morning, good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to another Thursday Live here at the Association of PEMF Professionals. I am Dr. Jerry Dreessen, your host for the day, and where we talk about everything that's going on in the PEMF world. And for those of you that are watching this for the first time and are wondering what the heck PEMF is, well, it's pulsed electromagnetic field therapy. It is a type of device that is magnetic, and it is ground swelling across the globe as far as a new device that helps people out and the things that they can do to help themselves out as far as blood flow. Well, there's a whole bunch of stuff that it does. So yeah, you can go on a great rabbit hole and looking up all the benefits of PEMF. So with that, I want to jump in today. Let me just change my size here. And we talked about what's been going on in the political realm. And so there was a recently last week, the Nebraska board, they discussed animal PEMF. And with that, it helped us streamline some of the things that we want to do, where we can effectively make sure that PEMF is able to be used by non-vet people and be able to create businesses with that. So that's what our goal is. So what I want to do today is just kind of walk through what was going on. And this is over in Nebraska as far as the Board of Veterinary Medicine and Surgery. And the ruling is that they had that PEMF class is classified as practice of veterinary medicine under the current statutes. And cryotherapy received the same ruling and for the same reasoning, and it must be performed by a licensed veterinarian in Nebraska. That was their ruling. But the important context to all of this is that the board is bound by the statutes as written. So they, even if we went in there and asked to change things, that would create a different type of event that would need to happen. And so it's not their personal position, or isn't a reflection of their personal position, but it is bound by the statutes as written. So they don't have authority to change or reinterpret the law. So you can't blame the messenger, right? You don't kill the messenger, is what's going on here. So the main thing on what we got going on here is the boards are not the enemy. The laws are outdated and haven't caught up. So that's the bottom line. So now that we are exposed to this, then we have basically some paths to put forward, which is through the 407 process. And it starts it's a formal process for proposing change in the scope of practice. So the first thing that has to happen is a technical committee where there's expert review of the application as we put that together. Then there's a board review, which is a formal board evaluation. And then the director of public health comes in for final review and recommendation. And then, and only then, can they change the law through the legislation. So although this needs to be completed within 9 months by statute, and then we're going to be filing the 407 application. And now that we are understanding more of this, again, it's not up to the board. They have to follow the laws of the land. So as far as those of you that are in Nebraska, as far as being PEMF practitioners, come join the AOPP, because every member strengthens the 407 application. If we have members that are from Nebraska, then the more that we can increase that number, the more strength we have in getting this processed. So here is the current information as we know it. So in Texas, we're going to be watching it. So Vet Practice Act revisions are expected this month and a board meeting in July. So we're going to be reviewing the draft language closely. International, there's an updated equine rules draft expected in June. So there's a public comment period before the December vote. So we're going to be mobilizing our members for that. Over in New York, we're going to give it a green light for hopeful, but a bill was introduced to remove PEMF from the definition of veterinary medicine, kind of what we're doing here, exactly the statutory fix that the AOPP has called for. And then, Hope was there. Hi, Hope. Yeah, you probably learned a lot being at that meeting. So glad you were able to hop on and being part of that. And then over in Oklahoma, again, in progress. So we're working to identify a new bill sponsor for the next session. So the path requires new legislative champion. The people that we were involved with last time, I think it sounds like they were being pressured to go a different direction. So we just need a new sponsor for the bill. And then in Michigan, we are red alert, but a practitioner received a complaint, which was a kind of a non-complaint. We call it the Mrs. Kravitz complaint. Just somebody poking their nose where they shouldn't be. There really wasn't any harm or foul done. So it was we wrote a formal letter to support. And again, the law is vague, so the board response is going to set a precedent on that. So again, if we can get in there and get the change as far as what this is all about. And again, those of you that are doing PEMF, you know what this is all about. It's an awesome device. It's new. People don't know. They don't have the knowledge as far as what it is. So they're taking the safe side because they don't want to be hung out to dry by their constituents because they champion something that they don't know anything about. So, I mean, it makes sense. I'm just jumping in here. There's Mindy. She's also attended the January and April meetings. Good. Which is great. And like I said, the more that we can create in our membership, imagine helping push this bill through by having a large group of PEMF providers that are in the state that we're working in. So everything that you can do to help us out with that will be great. So the bigger picture, every state we covered is a variation of the same problem. It's not exactly the same, but the laws do not reflect what's currently going on. And I see it in my profession as a chiropractor too. We have a quality assurance commission and the QAC. And there are devices that used to be back in the day not allowed in the profession. I mean, back, I don't know, probably in the 80s, we couldn't do ice, we couldn't do heat, we couldn't even talk about nutrition. And the Quality Assurance Commission, they went in and changed all of that. You know, it just all needs to be updated. And again, some of these people on boards, it's not a paid position, or even if it is, their day-to-day, week-to-week, month-to-month stuff is on a higher set of fires that need to be put out, I guess, that affect a larger group of people. So if you can think of it that way, we just need to gently nudge what we want to have happen and get it in front of them so that it makes sense. So education, coming to it neutrally versus antagonistically. So again, if you're reaching out to these people, don't burn down the bridges. We're all about making a great connection and like, what can we do to help this out? So our goal is a supportive service clause in every state, statutory language that carves out non-diagnostic, non-invasive support modalities from the definition of veterinary medicine. And again, it's state by state, board by board, legislature by legislature. And we've definitely come to a point where this is the next phase of the AOPP, where we're getting out there and helping with this. Joanne, hey, hello. Thanks for joining us from Florida, which we knew was happening. That's why, like I said, if you watched any of my lives, you know that this is where we wanted to be for when this happens, because we knew 15 years ago this was going to happen, but we needed to be at a point of membership, at a point of literally clout in international organization. So I'm glad we are where we are and who we are and what we're doing to help everybody, and that does PEMF. So some things that you can do right now. Again, Nebraska practitioners join the AOPP. Every member strengthens the 407 application. And I would even say those of you that have benefited from PEMF in Nebraska, I mean, you know, we need to have that as well. But those of you that have a business and you use PEMF, you are the tip of the iceberg that we need to have with us on this. So if you know somebody that's practicing with PEMF, like and share this, you know, share it to their Facebook page or you know, we're on YouTube, we're over on LinkedIn, but if you can just send it to one person today, that would be good. And then also read the full Nebraska recap on the blog, but also watch for FEI draft rules in June. And then we're going to let you know how to comment. We'll give you kind of a template, and then you can change that up. And like I said, share this video with a PEMF practitioner who needs to know. And if we can get 100% participation and they're all part of the AOPP, that is a loud enough voice to help move mountains in the Nebraska legislature, because we're like a full representation of all PEMF practitioners. That would be the goal, the dream as far as moving us. And then again, if we can change this one, then that sets the precedence to go to the next one and the next one. And now if you can imagine having 5, 10, 15 states that have allowed this change, it's going to make it easier for the next group, because they're going to say, well, if they did it, then they've done the homework and the research and they're okay with it. So we're okay with it. And that's what we're hoping. Let's see here. Jessica. Yeah. As far as getting the template together, that would be really good. So it's a real quick one today, but again, it's all about the Nebraska board update. We learned a whole bunch. Lauren's just been doing a phenomenal job. So if you want to, you know, give her a quick shout out here, that would be awesome. If you want to send her a quick email. But I want to thank you for your time. And again, if you're watching this and you want to know how to become a member, we've got our PEMFprofessionals.com is the website for the AOPP. And then on that are links where you can join or even just know more about what we're doing. And again, questions and tips, info@PEMFprofessionals.com. And we already got one shout out for Lauren. Good job. Thanks, Jessica. Oh, yes. Nice. But also at info@PEMFprofessionals.com, you can also send out a shout out to her too. And yes, this is kind of weird too. Owners can't provide PEMF on their own animals, which is kind of a weird thing, but because animals can't give consent unless there's a diagnosis and a treatment. So anyways, you can see kind of the laws that we're up against. And as we go through this, again, it's not that laws were written about PEMF. It's just that PEMF is the square peg trying to be put in a round hole with the existing laws. So I think once we get in here, we start changing this, that'll be good. So with that, again, the things that you can do, like and share what we've got here. I said no like and share earlier. So know what we're talking about, like what we're doing, and sharing this to everybody. And every time that you just click on the like, that drops us into the algorithm for these things to show up in front of other people that somehow have PEMF in their algorithm, so that they'll see what we've got going on. So I really appreciate what we've got. And yes, I see some flamed anger posts, which is kind of where we are. But again, these people on these boards are just following the advice of the current law. So we're, like I said, we're getting in there. And those of you that are just joining us, where did it go? The 407 process. So this is what we're going to be doing, and probably have to do this with every state. So, and again, for now, the less traffic going to legislature about this, the better, because you don't want to ring a bell and have them say, oh, well, if this is what's going on, then we'll have to follow Nebraska. It's better for us to go under the radar for now until we have a chance to have a summit, a virtual summit where we're coming at it from neutral. And I think we can get a lot more done that way. So again, thank you for your time, and we'll have more updates as we go. And feel free to reach out and email us too. And if you're not a member, what a great time to become a member. We're, in the middle of this amazing change that's going on, and you can be part of it. So thank you so much, and we'll see you next week. Take care.